Well, it's been a quiet week here in Lake Stabagon, my hometown. Today's episode picks up where episode 23 ended. They see who ChatGPT thinks they are, briefly discuss eggnog, talk COVID symptoms, bingo, mistaken identities, Des Moines, the Joe Yerke golf course bathroom bonanza, and more.
Oh, well, welcome to the after show. This is what we like to call the Brockless podcast, when Brock goes to put his kids to bed, and we like to, it's Brock talk, the part of our show where we don't talk about Brock, but he thinks we do.
Which I was going to bring up something from the episode, no spoiler here, Todd, but Reese talked about, like, if you Google his name, it's a girl's name, that you're going to find other the volleyball players or whatever. So first of all, that's not true. If you Google Reese Roper, the first thing that pops up is the Reese Roper we're most familiar with. But there are two volleyball players. One plays in Idaho, the College of Idaho, which I think is this college where Aaron Weiss is a philosophy professor at this point. Lead singer of Me Without You. I think it's the same college, so that's interesting. But the other Reese Roper, so you mentioned something about a volleyball player who had overcome cancer. So that Reese Roper is a junior in high school. She lives in Raleigh. She plays at my wife's club. Like, I know of this Reese Roper and have for a while. So when he mentioned it, so she's a high school kid. She did get diagnosed with leukemia, I think earlier this year. Still going through treatment, but in remission, but hasn't finished her chemo and all of that. But her name is Reese Roper. But since my wife works at the club and has known her, she mentioned to me one day, because she knows of Five Iron Frenzy and Reese Roper, because I do all this. And she's like, we have a kid at my club named Reese Roper. I was like, that's amazing. And I think it's funny because Reese always says his name is a girl's name, and this turns out it's a girl. So my wife asked her, said, do you know who Five Iron Frenzy is? And she said, no. And then she said, do you know what ska is? And she said, huh?
Oh, no.
And so she is blissfully
if
unaware
only the rest of us were
of her male counterpart, frontman of a ska band. But I do not know her personally, but I know who the Reese Roper he mentioned. And then her dad is actually Kurt Roper, who's the quarterback's coach at NC State, and has been at Duke and Ole Miss and Florida and a bunch of other places.
Okay. My neighbor went to NC State, and I hear about NC State all the time. Yep, there you go. Small world, North Carolina. Tip the hat.
Ropers.
We have to add to our notes for the next episode. We still have to ask Brock about the intentional community thing.
Yep.
Yes. ChatGPT knows, so maybe I'll just ask ChatGPT, because they mentioned it in there.
Right.
Which I asked ChatGPT about you guys as well, and there's famous Pete Hutchinsons and Kevin Brennans out there. That's what I learned. Beyond you two.
A Minnesota governor?
No.
I'm going to say the Kevin Brennan is a stand-up comedian, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I worked with Dave Chappelle and Saturday Night Live and Late Show with David Letterman and Conan.
Yes.
So many things.
Not me.
So we're just, from now on it's you. Like, we're going to go with that timeline.
Okay.
You're that guy. This Pete Hutchinson's the founder of Gearbox Records, a UK-based record label known for its focus on high-quality analog vinyl releases, especially in jazz, electronic, and experimental music. Why have you been keeping this from us?
Well done, Pete.
Petey Hutchie.
Pete, where's that vinyl money?
Yeah. Where's our experimental jazz high-quality vinyl?
I try not to talk about my past. Thanks for bringing it up. And if y'all could just realize I'm from the Adirondacks and not the UK, I would appreciate that. Thank you so much.
The emphasis on the quotation marks? Yeah, I gotcha.
Emphasis on the right syllable, mate. Oh, sorry. Wait, that was Australian and not UK.
Oh, they're cousins.
Todd's like, what the hell is happening?
I must admit, I was trying to see if ChatGPT knew who I was, and it does not. So
I didn't ask it about myself either. I don't think that's going to come up with anything.
I do know from previously Googling years ago, there was at least one other Todd Grassman, and I think he played like basketball in college up in like Oregon or something. But other than that, I don't know of any other Todd Grassmans.
Wow. Would you like to know what it says about Jared Freese? This is hilarious. There isn't widely known public information on a person named Jared Freese in a prominent field, but there could be individuals with that name in various professions or industries. Could you provide more context or details about the person you're interested in?
No.
And you said, no, thank you.
No.
The fact that you don't know me is a great thing.
There is a Jared Freeze who owns or has the domain for jaredfreeze.com, who's some kind of art guy who went to the Rhode Island School of Design, actually.
RISD.
Yeah,
So around here, he's known as Jared Fries, and he's actually a food truck owner.
Are you serious? Please tell me the truth. Oh. I'm Facebook friends with this guy.
Nope.
Occasionally I get tagged in his pictures, like someone will type in the name and like we get reversed.
I love it.
Because like I found his website, like, I don't know, mid 2000s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when Facebook was just edu email addresses or to join. And so I just thought it was funny. Like I didn't know who the guy was. I just like added him as a friend on Facebook because we had the same name. Like it was a different era of Facebook, kids. It was silly. So I've been Facebook friends with this guy for 20 plus years. I've never met him, don't know anything. I do know about him as an art student. He's married with kids now. And he was in New York and he had an art studio or a gallery.
Oh yeah, okay, there he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not me. It's a different guy. Same name.
No,
He got the website first. Didn't even think about it.
He was a former bourgeoisie representative at the United States government.
Oh. What is?
Well, what do you know?
I didn't know that was official role.
All right. Well, I'm going to stop my deep dive of the other Jared Freeze. And,
That guy.
Just so we can say we did a recap of the episode. Eggnog. What do you guys think?
I don't like eggnog, but
I'm on Team Reese. No, thank you.
I'm allergic.
Also not a fan.
I'm allergic to milk, so I've never had it and won't ever have it.
Very good. There, we did it. We recapped the episode. We're done.
Wait,
I also do want to start a band called Jiminy Christmas. But
I think actually congratulations is in order. Joe can smell farts again. Like,
yes,
hey, both
Joe.
his own and others.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for you,
Sorry,
Todd. Joe got his sense of smell back.
He can smell awful things.
He can smell farts.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna say, is that something that one should be like congratulated on?
It's only fair to Heidi that he's.
I mean, is that now that he has to put up with smelling farts? Yeah.
So my wife, when she got COVID, she had the opposite reaction. So like she didn't lose her like sense of taste or anything like that. She's a little bit of backstory. She's never had a sense of smell, like as long as I've known her. Yeah, but like she can sometimes smell that there is a smell, but that's it. Like she can't quite like identify it. She's like, I can smell that there is something.
Yeah.
I can't tell. When she got COVID, her sense of taste actually got heightened to where, we would get buffalo wings from the 99 restaurant all the time. Pete, I know you're familiar.
Oh, it's a real deal.
Oh yeah. And they're not overly spicy. They're just your generic run-of-the-mill, they're good wings, but they're not spicy or anything like that. And after she got COVID, we got them, and she was like, I think they changed them because they're like, I am like, these are so hot. Like, I don't know what's going on. So anything spicy now is like heightened for her.
Oh,
Interesting.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
Has she ever seen like an ear, nose, and throat doctor about her smell problems, or?
No, she hasn't.
I mean, some people do. I mean, not to just like go off on a medical tangent. Some people do
go
get
ahead.
like nasal polyps, like like little like fluid sacs that in your nose that could just be blocking. That's a possibility. So that she could check into. But I also have a very poor sense of smell. But when I had COVID, and I had it a couple times, and really, it took a lot, like being like, as people said, a frontline medical worker, like, and being around tons of people with COVID, like, I mean, I did like wear a mask and stuff like I was supposed to, but I was still amazed. It seemed like it took a while for me to actually get it, or at least to get it and test positive. Like, there were times that I was sick and I got a test and it was negative that I still wonder, like, did I actually have it? Because, it could be, there's thousands of other similar sorts of viruses that cause those same sorts of symptoms, but could it be that I had COVID? But anyway, the times that I did, and this is how I also decided, like, one other time, I'm pretty sure I got COVID again, was things seemed like saltier to me. And I don't know if that's because like other parts of my sense of taste were diminished, but like things just tasted salty to me when I had COVID. The one time I tested positive, and then later I had like sort of like cold or flu-like symptoms, and things tasted salty. And I'm like, oh, I bet I got it again. Yeah, but that's my experience with COVID.
Huh.
But mostly we don't like eggnog tea.
Right.
No.
Which does sound gross.
It really
does. Yeah.
I mean, I'm someone who never like, I don't know if like maybe some households it was more common. We just never had eggnog around. So like I've tried it before, but it's never been something I had, like it was never around for me even to try. So never got into it.
Yeah, no thank you. Everybody talks about spiked eggnog, and I'm like, I don't like eggnog as it is, so
you could just leave out the eggnog and
leave out the eggnog, and I'm in. But
you know what? Spike a glass, and we're good.
That's my favorite. Just put the booze in the glass, and you're good.
The spiked glass.
It's simple.
Yep.
No, don't gronk the glass. Don't spike it and have it shatter. But right?
Just drench it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yes.
Don't pull a Thor. Yeah.
Yes. Oh man. Don't Hulk smash it.
Another. Yeah.
Another. Don't Hulk smash it either.
No.
So last Friday, me, Sarah, and my daughter Megan, who does the intro for the podcast, we went to this pizza place in this bar that they do bingo on Friday nights. So we went and we're playing bingo, and they're like, oh yeah, you win a $10 gift card for this round. Okay, great, we're going through. Well, then they changed it up, and they're like, this round you win a bottle of wine. Well, wouldn't you know it, my 16-year-old daughter wins the round. It gives them the bottle of wine. So she yells, bingo! And the host looks up and goes, yeah, we got a problem.
Didn't think that went all the way through.
But he was great about it, and he ended up just giving her, like, exchanging it for a $10 gift card, and then the next round they did was for the actual bottle of wine. So
hilarious.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna go back again this Friday. They're doing music bingo, so that'll be fun.
Bingo's fun.
Okay. Nice.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Have you never played music bingo, Pete? Seems right up your alley.
Oh no, I have. I'm just saying that
okay.
particular instance would be fun.
Yes. Oh, gotcha.
Like going on Friday with the family. The occurrence that is coming up this weekend would be fun.
I agree.
Pete, you working Friday? Want to come down?
Josh, a friend of the podcast,
oh, that's
and also
right.
my brother-in-law,
right? Yeah, Josh is coming up.
We'll be coming to town this weekend. We're going to go to a Animals as Leaders and Pliny show at the Royale in Boston. But he's coming up. He's going to get in late, so maybe I can come down. We'll see what happens. I'll find out what time he's coming in. In true pickle and boot fashion, let's all bring out our calendars.
And
break out the calendars.
Let's check our availability.
The best part of that show,
I love it when they bring out the calendars and find out where things are on them.
Like let's push some paper around and
I'm gonna go see.
I forget. Did we ever start this episode?
Sort of.
Hey Google, take me to Ticonderoga, New York.
I honestly don't remember if we ever started this episode.
I feel like we started to start, but I don't know if you got all the way through it before getting interrupted. You said Happy Failure Puddle Friday, and I think that's as far as you got.
That sounds about right. Mm-hmm. So, well, anyway.
No, you did actually, because you talked about voicemails, and you talked about.
Oh, right.
No, so you made it.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay,
we
cool.
have a start and a
so Todd, here at the Pickle Home
Yeah.
Companion, we never really start a podcast. So here we are at the I don't know how many hour in mark, and we have not yet quite completely started. But this is great for part 2.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 hours and 22 minutes in, and
I mean, it gives it the feel that this is just a constantly continuing conversation. Then
it really is.
No beginning, no end. Yeah,
and that's really the kind of the whole idea. Yeah, this show just kind of keeps going until we kind of
call it a night.
Eventually, one by one, drop off. So,
Kevin, I have a question for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has anybody ever said that you look like Matt Morginski from the Supertones?
No, I have not.
I feel like, especially now that I've seen him lately with a beard, like you guys look quite alike.
This is good. Yeah. I see it.
If I, give me another year or so, and as more hair falls out, and I've got to shave my head.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm seeing you with a baseball cap on and a beard, but I think I've seen some recent photos of him, and he also has a beard going on. So I'm like, yeah, I feel like the resemblance. If there was money in being like a Supertones impersonator,
right,
that might be a career option for you. Yeah.
I'm writing that down.
We will have a Supertones tribute artist is actually what they call them.
We're just going to tell them the Supertones are there and just leave it to that. We're not going to say it's a tribute.
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
When I was running Ska for Christ, I think just because I was bald and had a goatee, a lot of people compared me to Mojo. Like, I don't feel like I look like him at all. I'm also just a much generally bigger person than him. But yeah, just the bald and goatee seem to get you that. And you're into Christian ska. Yeah, you're
at my daughter Megan's drama, I don't know whatever performance it was they were doing last year. I'm hanging out afterwards, waiting while they're backstage getting changed out of their costumes and things like that. And this kid that she goes to school with comes up to me and she goes, "Has anyone ever told you look like Eminem?"
Oh.
And I said, "No."
Did you lose yourself at that time, or
right? Like I just kind of said, "No, I can't say that anyone ever has." And she said, "Oh, okay," and like she ran off and went off, with her friends, and then so we get in the car afterwards, and I was like, "Megan, some girl like in the high school just came up to me and was like, 'Hey, did anyone ever tell you look like Eminem?'" And she goes, "Wait, you're the one they were talking about?" She said, "Backstage,
hey, Eminem's over there." Yeah,
right. She was like, "So we're hanging out backstage, and everyone kept saying, 'Oh, there's someone here, and like he looks just like Eminem.'" And she's like, "I had no idea who they were talking about." And then she's like, "It was you?" And I was like, "I guess."
Well, that makes sense. You stayed sitting. You stayed sitting because the real Slim Shady would please stand up.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I guess it was just I had a gray hoodie on and a baseball hat, and
there you go.
Yeah.
Looked like you're from Michigan.
Right. There was like a recent picture on Instagram of Eminem where he was at like his daughter's football game or something like that, and he had like a full beard. And I was like, so I found that picture, texted it to Megan, and she's like, "I guess."
Oh man.
Yeah. I've seen those pictures of him with. I would not have. That was not my first thought, obviously.
Yeah.
But also, I'm. I have a very particular set of interests. So I went with Matt Morginski. So
yeah. Here, I'll put my hood up.
There you go. Yep, totally.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Oh wait.
That's
let's see. Keep
is
it
that
up, keep
Marshall
it up,
Mathers?
Keep it up. Got it. Thank you. Todd, you get to see the inner workings of our social media. Congratulations.
It's fascinating.
Yep.
Yeah. Did we have anything else we wanted to touch on, or just random bullshit go?
I can assure Joe that I won't judge all of Michigan off of Mount Pleasant, since he told me that would be a gigantic mistake or something like that. I can't remember what he said, but I won't judge all of Michigan. He's right. There's not much going on there. I live in a small or outside of a small town, so I'm not in a position to judge. But the drive from Grand Rapids to Mount Pleasant, it was an hour and 40 minutes. I don't think we drove through a town in that time. And then we got to Mount Pleasant, and there's not a whole lot there besides the university. And it was like, okay. But I have been to Detroit, and I really like Detroit. Like, Detroit was a ton of fun. So I'll judge Michigan by Detroit and not Mount Pleasant.
I've never been to Michigan. I might have driven through. I had a couple opportunities to go to Michigan. One of the grad schools I got into when I was going to do my master's degree in philosophy was Wayne State University, that's in Detroit. But I also got into Colorado at Boulder, and Boulder just felt like a much more fun place to be than Detroit. So I never ended up even visiting Wayne State, even though they tried to offer me some things like, we'll give you a semester where you don't have to do any teaching duties or anything, and we'll still pay you. But I opted for Boulder. And then as 2020, before, knowing what the pandemic was going to be doing, I had planned this big sort of trip where I was going to go to different places in like sort of the upper Midwest and go mountain biking, including like the upper peninsula of Michigan. And then I was going to come down through the state of Michigan and like come back around to get back over here to Iowa. But then, of course, a pandemic happened. So seemed like traveling was not a great idea. So I've never made it to that great state, but I hope to someday, because it's supposed to have a really good, on top of other lovely things about it, pretty good cycling culture, like mountain biking up in like the Upper Peninsula. There's, I think, like Ann Arbor has a big cycling community. Brock's gone, so probably nobody cares. But yeah.
Go ahead, take the right ear. You got it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I might have to make that trip happen, even though it was a plan a few years ago that got dashed by by COVID. But maybe I'll bring that idea back, because I could go basically from here up through Minnesota, which has a lot of different biking things to do, through the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, back down through Michigan, and then just like drive back across like Illinois and Iowa to get back home here.
So how far are you from Des Moines?
I'm west. I'm in very western Iowa. In fact, I'm basically part of the Omaha, Nebraska metro area, like on the border between Iowa and Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, like a 2-hour drive from Des Moines.
Oh, that's not bad. I'm
planning to go there in a few weeks for the state championships of cyclocross. So
parkour.
Nice.
Yeah, parkour. Well, exactly, which is it's actually in Altoona, which is like one of the sort of suburbs of Des Moines.
And how far away is that from you?
What's that?
How far away is that from you?
It's like a little over 2 hours, because Altoona is just like on the other side of Des Moines. It's also where like Iowa's only like theme park is Adventureland, is in Altoona, Iowa. So I haven't been there since I was like a kid. But yeah, that's all I know about Altoona. That, and that's usually where the state cyclocross championships are. That's awesome. Just some park there that allows it for whatever reason. So and it's in sort of right in the middle of the state, basically.
Yeah, we almost ended up out in Des Moines for work.
Okay.
Really?
The company I worked for, we had kind of like a merger situation going on where our parent company was based out of the UK, but our headquarters was in Massachusetts, like in the Boston area. And we also had offices in Buffalo. And we ended up merging with a company that was out in Des Moines. Okay. And then they kind of did the math and were like, well, worldwide we're bigger, but in the US, I think the Des Moines office was bigger. And then they also figured out that we can pay people a lot less in Des Moines than we can in Boston.
Yeah,
that's
for sure. Yeah.
Yep. So they basically laid everybody off in Boston and moved everything out to Des Moines. And there was a handful of us that they offered to keep our jobs if we moved out to Des Moines. But we would have had to sign a contract basically saying we'll stay with the company for a year. And they pulled really hard to try and get me out there. And my wife also worked for the company, and she had already been laid off. And so they were like, we'll give her job back, and like, if you come out here, we'll rehire her and we'll pay for your move and all that stuff. So like, we were out, and I was out there constantly, like training people and things like that. Loved the area. West Des Moines was fantastic. But I was just like, I can't move to somewhere where I have to drive 3 hours to see like an MLB game,
That's the issue. Des Moines, I agree, Des Moines is a nice city. I think it is one of those places that always claims to be like well ranked as like, a great place to like have a family and stuff. Like, I think it is a nice, like, moderate sized city. But you're right. There's no pro sports teams at least not of like the major league variety. There's always like a AAA baseball team or whatever. But and they really like hockey here in the Midwest. So there's usually like the lower level pro hockey teams and stuff. Right? But there's no major league sports. The closest is going to be like Kansas City or Minneapolis. Or
how far away is the Field of Dreams?
I'm embarrassed to say I don't actually know where the Field of Dreams is in Iowa.
Okay.
I'm a bad Iowan.
That's okay. That's all right.
So while we were out there, my boss and I went to an Iowa Cubs game.
Is that Des Moines based, or where they play?
Yes.
Okay,
so we went to one of their games, and Ryan Dempster, who happened to be pitching for the Red Sox at the time, was there on a rehab assignment. So he was pitching for whoever they were playing against. And my boss happened to have him on his fantasy baseball team. And, we're from Boston, we give people shit all the time. So he's down there right at the railing, like, "Hey, Dempster, you're killing my fantasy baseball team." And he's just laying into him, just like while he's warming up. And, he's just kind of like shaking his head, like, you kidding me? Like, security came over and told us they were going to kick us out.
Oh, man.
And we're like, why?
Heckling is part of sports. I looked it up. The Field of Dreams is like all the way over on the other side of the state. It's like northeast Iowa, like 5 hours from here.
194 miles away, right? About 3 hours and 19 minutes. Yep.
Yeah, because I'm basically in the Omaha area, so
okay.
Yeah, I'm in right on the other side in beautiful Council Bluffs, Iowa. So Iowa's leading edge was like once our motto, I think. But
well, that's better than Rhode Island, which was cooler, warmer.
I think, most of Iowa does not look very highly on Western Iowa. This is sort of like, all of Iowa's rural, right? But like most of Iowa's population is on the east side of the state. So like, I think they mostly look with negative thoughts on Western Iowa. So, but yeah, that's where I'm from.
Yeah, that's even further then. It's almost 350 miles. Yeah,
I was gonna say it would be like a 5-hour drive. Oh, that was just like my off the top of that estimate. Like, I know getting up to like that corner of Iowa is gonna be like at least 5 hours or something. Yeah.
Well, in the podcast, they talk a lot about how far things are from other things, and that's really what I was going.
Particularly on recent episodes.
I noticed you kept asking, like, how far are you from this?
I just wanted to make it like our pickle overloads.
I've never been to council.
I'm a couple hours from St. Joseph, Missouri, if anybody's curious.
Okay. I've lived there.
Very curious.
Yeah, that's a great little town. They have a nice mountain bike park there.
I lived there for a summer. Yeah. So
did you mountain bike?
I did not. I didn't even have a bike with me.
No, you didn't.
I lived with my brother.
You should.
He lived in St. Joe. Summer.
Okay. They have some trails that are older, but they like just a couple years ago they actually put in like a big new. They put in quite a bit of money into like right along the riverside there, they put in a new like mountain bike park. So
Gotcha.
I actually did go down there just to check it out before.
Yeah, I lived in Kansas City for like a year and a half in high school, and then after I graduated from college, my brother lived out there in St. Joe, and I lived with him. And I went to Omaha. I don't think I went to Council Bluffs, but I did go to Omaha for a weekend. Went to the zoo, went downtown. I liked Omaha. Like, I was surprised. It was fun.
I like Omaha. I mean, I think one thing people don't realize, I mean, it's not like a big city like the ones you think of, like major American cities, but it's like a lot bigger than Des Moines, like multiple times bigger than Des Moines. Like, I think people might just assume they're like the same size, but yeah, Omaha's much bigger. Though that reminds me, like, the thing that actually I think got Kevin and I talking about me even coming on the podcast, we never even talked about so far, which was my little post I made about the golf course that Joe had diarrhea on.
We would be remiss if we did not talk
Which
about
is
this.
very current, since they spent like 7 minutes talking about buttholes and pooping better. So on the latest
and then
this one's going out to Tammy.
I was delighted that Joe brought it up on the pod too. He's like, yeah, this Todd Grassman, like, he actually went to that casino. I think he was under the impression that I made like a big trip there. It is in Council Bluffs. It's in like where I live. So,
no, you did. You trekked there. You took your backpack. You have a tent. Yeah.
Yeah. I made the trek all the way to Harrah's Casino, Council Bluffs, which was a Harvey's casino back then. Must have got sold out to Caesars Entertainment or whatever. But yeah, it was not a planned thing, but you know, I've heard Joe's story before about, like, I don't know, they ate there or whatever, and he's having diarrhea and he just runs onto the golf course and defecates all over a green, apparently. So I'm biking. So there's actually a bike trail. It's a pretty common part of, like, there's just a loop that people will do, like a 20-mile loop around Council Bluffs or so, of different bike trails that connect up. One of them goes right through the grounds of Harrah's Casino. So like, I'm riding past there, I'm like, wait, this is an opportunity. Like, so
everything is content. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Everything is content. So I just get out my phone, like sit it on like this like fence post or whatever, and like as if I'm, you know, a historian at this historical site of I'm bringing you to this, I think I called it like a seminal moment in like Christian ska history or whatever. Where
that reel brought me so much joy.
It was great.
Thank you.
So good.
Yeah. So that's actually what got us talking, I think. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I plan to make a follow-up. Like, because Joe pointed out on Google Maps to me like what exact green he pooped on. So I have a plan to go back to make a more in-depth video about what happened there.
A possible
I was going to say a live
reenactment. Or,
I'm afraid of what security might do. Like, I'm already like, this has to be like a guerrilla recording somehow. Like, me and one of my friends.
You got a bicycle.
I'm gonna have
fast.
her with a
zoom out of there.
Yeah, like we're gonna ride. We're gonna ride right next, because it is like, you know, that's why he went to this green. It's right next to the parking lot. So like, we can just ride right up there. I'm gonna hop the fence. And who knows what's going to happen after that? But
do we know what he ate beforehand? Because maybe you can even go like really method.
I need to ask him, because I actually want to make this next video a little more in depth. Like, do they know like what show were they coming from? Like, were they just driving through? Like, you know, what was, you know, set the scene for this crime that he committed? So
that's right.
Yeah.
I love this already. The possibilities.
I need to talk to Joe more about this event, and also like what year it happened. I'm assuming just late '90s sometime. I don't know if he's said like, because I'd just be curious, you know, what year, you know, because I basically, my follow-up video, I actually want to just include more details, like on this date in this year, like Joe.
the insiders historians out there. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. For everybody who cares about insiders lore, this one is for you.
It'll be great for Insiders Con. That would be phenomenal. Yeah.
I would go to Insiders Con.
I think there's dozens that would.
Yep.
I was one of the few who, like, of the big three was like, you know what, Insiders, they're my favorite band. That was, I don't know if I always meant it, if I was maybe just being a little contrarian, but I was someone who
philosophers are.
Yeah, for many years I claimed Insider, but there was like some emotional connection there because they were actually the very first CD I ever bought with my own money was Motor City Ska. Like, I went to the local Christian bookstore, was like looking through CDs and was like, what is this crap? And I checked it out, and they had one of those stations, I think, where you can listen, like push a button and listen to a clip. And I was like, I love this. Whatever this ska stuff is. 'Cause I think it caught me because I was someone who had always been into like Jamaican music and stuff, like so like that influence I think might be part of why ska caught me, like more than like punk or anything. It was actually like the like syncopated rhythm and stuff, because I was always like a big like Bob Marley person and whatnot, like so yeah, I just at Lemstone's Christian Books in the mall got Motor City Ska, so I'm like, hey, they're my favorite, even though later I was like, and now it's the 5-iron. But there was some time that flipped, but
yeah, I talked about it on the last episode that we recorded, how for me, like, out of the big three, Supertones was actually number 3 for me. And just because, production wise, it was almost too produced for my liking.
Yeah, I mean, I liked all three. Like, I was someone who I was a completionist for all three of these bands. Like, I would get every album, everything I get my hands on, and any other, like, if like when I saw like Buck at the Christian bookstore, like any other, the Skedaddles, like any other Christian ska albums that happened to find their way into the Christian bookstores I was going to, I was gonna buy it. Heck, Tasty Snacks. I
had that.
Or The Snacks. I think they later changed their name to, or Snacks. But yeah, my feeling. This is how I always described it to people, at least back then. I'm like, Supertones seem to be like doing the best as far as like the Christian music industry goes. I'm like, 5-iron, as far as I can tell, this is me speaking like, 20 years ago, 5-iron is like, they're the ones who actually have the most like crossover appeal to like the mainstream market. And Insiders are just like the scrappy little underdog following behind the two of them. Was sort of, I think that was my impression of the big three at the time. But,
I mean, even Less Than Jake's Losing Streak, which came out today, back in 1996. If you look in the album artwork for that album, there's someone in the album artwork that has a 5-Iron Frenzy t-shirt on.
That's awesome.
It's very cool. See,
I did feel like I had, like, there were more people who were not into Christian music who knew who 5-Iron was. And this is like an N of one, like, I had a buddy who was like really into music, like, and he was mostly into like, hardcore and like nu metal and whatever was popular in like 2002. And he also played like bass in our school jazz band, and we were trombonists together in concert band. But in his opinion, and maybe, I don't know, he thought that Buck was actually like the musically best of like all of them that I forced him to listen to. I don't know if many people would share that assessment, but when I, because I was, my parents were decently okay. So like we had like a pool, like mine was like the house where everybody wanted to hang out, but that also meant I was, forcing my musical tastes on all my friends as we had pool parties and stuff. So Yeah, I always thought that was interesting. My one musician friend he really thought that Buck was like the best sounding, but I mean, I guess they're also like some of the least actual ska. They even called them they even were like, we're not ska, we're rock with horns. But yeah,
I've heard that as well. Yeah, I've heard that argument. Yeah.
Sorry for the ska digression, but I guess this is based on a ska podcast.
It's really okay.
It's welcome here.
Yeah, if this was other people, I might feel bad. But you guys have already had your ears defiled by this sort of thing. So.
Oh my goodness, have we ever? Oh.
Now, I wonder how much the geography did factor into things that they have a MapQuest hour on the latest episode.
Spoiler alert for you.
Where they talk about how far things. But I wonder if the combination of geography and labels that they were on affected, like the Supertones being on Tooth and Nail from Southern California, Orange County, like for a ska band to take off.
Yeah.
Versus 5 Minute Walk.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah. I mean, I've definitely heard that sort of like take against the Supertones, right? That they were basically some guys looking to get popular. Like, so they were like, hey, this ska stuff is popular. Let's make a ska band. I don't know how accurate that is. But they were in the right place, and ska was huge, and ska was big right where they were in Southern California. So,
sure.
But I mean, I actually saw the Supertones the most, but I don't know if it's true, but it seemed to me that they toured through the Midwest more. Like, I don't know if they just toured generally more, but they would come through like Des Moines and Omaha and stuff, and I would never see like the Insiders or Five Iron coming to like Des Moines. So, but like I saw Supertones multiple times in Des Moines. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like anytime I ended up seeing the Supertones out here, I'd have to go up to like New Hampshire or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where Five Iron would play in Boston all the time.
I mean, Omaha, Des Moines, these are not like big markets, I guess. Like it's weird, like just as someone who also tries to go to some concerts and stuff, like it seems that either we get little bands or like just the massive tours. They're like, hey, Beyonce is going to be at our auditorium or whatever, like there's not like the in-between things, it seems like in Omaha, right? Like, like Five Iron, MXPX, whatever I'm actually interested in, they don't seem to come to Omaha. Like it's either really small or like the huge things that are just like, we're going to hit every big arena. Like, those are the things that I see in Omaha.
Well, what is it space? Is it, what's Connor Oberst's label? Bright Eyes?
Oh, Saddlebrook.
Yeah. So they have that whole scene, right?
That's
which
true.
Is different, completely different. But
yeah, and I mean, I've been going recently, trying to go to just like local like punk shows at different clubs in town and stuff. Like that's been weird for me in that like I was someone who like I went to lots of concerts like in high school, maybe a little bit in college, and then it just stopped for well over a decade. Like I maybe went to like, this is almost embarrassing to say, I went and saw Toby Mac when I was in grad school in Denver.
Hey, I'm going Thursday to see him. So
you're in the right spot for these things.
Old man Toby and I are going to convene in fellowship.
It felt weird because it seemed that most of the rest of the audience was like preteens or whatever and their parents. But and then here I was like a 28-year-old dude.
This 40-something-year-old guy is ready to enjoy some Toby Mac. And Mercy Me.
That happened with Sarah and I. We went and saw Dashboard, and I swear the two of us were the oldest people there. It was like
recently, or like
no. This was a while back.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, I saw Dashboard.
I think when I saw. So I was just gonna say. I think when I saw Toby, I think a few years he did his like Winter Wonder Slam tour.
Winter Jam.
Yeah. So I think it was in Des Moines, and I went to grad school in Boulder. So something let me know Toby was playing in Denver. I'm like, I must go.
We're just excited he's coming to the Northeast because a lot of those a lot of those contemporary artists don't come to the Northeast that often.
No,
Yeah.
no, like you'll see
Where-
the tour coming across, the,
Yep.
the states,
get
and
to
they hit New York.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's like if they're coming across, it's like they hit New York, and you're like, all right, Boston will be next, and nope, they go down to
And womp,
Jersey,
womp, womp.
Pennsylvania, and
There.
just skip over Boston, and
Yeah.
you're like, aw.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
I
know.
was gonna say I saw a
You know,
dashboard.
that Point of Grace tour.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate to miss that.
Go ahead, Jared. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I saw
Sorry.
a dashboard 2 years ago, I think, with Jimmy World, and so maybe it was a combo of the two.
Oh, nice.
Like, I felt like it was our age. A lot of, I mean, there were some younger people too, but didn't feel out of place at that show at all.
Are any of you guys familiar with? I think they were from, or are they're still touring and stuff. Ska band from I think St. Louis, The Urge.
Huh.
No,
It sounds familiar,
yeah, they
but I'm not entirely sure.
they were one that I was not really familiar with, but apparently they've been around like forever. Like,
Right.
but I only recently came to know of them because one of my buddies likes to rib me because he's also like someone who's like he's into ska, but he was never into Christian music. But apparently,
Mhm.
like The Urge was like his favorite ska band.
Interesting.
Um,
The Urge.
And they actually just came through Omaha like earlier this summer. They were one of the opening acts for crap. Now I feel bad. Who did I bring?
Oh crap! Now I feel bad. I know that.
Exactly.
My favorite.
They're on tour with Jiminy Christmas, right?
Oh man. Also, I'm like holding a mic, which does not make easy for typing. I'm just.
Oh, okay. Yeah, is this them?
Omaha.
Master of Styles would have been one
Yes,
of their
that's
albums.
one of their songs. Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Their album. Oh, they opened for The Offspring. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought they're really good. Like, it basically, like many sets maybe should, like many shows, like things got progressively more fun. Like The Urge was pretty awesome. Like they were the last ones right before The Offspring, and yeah, Offspring were great. But there were a couple other bands before that, less interesting. But yeah, I did enjoy The Urge. I don't know if I had anywhere else I was going with that other than like, there's another ska band I have seen recently.
Well, I feel like it's always rare when you run into somebody who's into ska. Like
Yeah.
I had a friend in grad school who like found out I liked ska, like 500 Friends of the Insiders, Supertones, and he wasn't into Christian music, but he was a big ska nerd. He was in a band from Gainesville. I went to University of Florida
Oh,
called
yeah.
The Know How, but they played Warped Tour and like opened for Less Than Jake and Street Light
Nice.
Manifesto, and like they were a legit ska band. So it was like, wait, you're a ska, like you actually played in a ska band as a trombonist? Yeah, it was really cool. Like, so when you run into somebody who's like knows what they're talking about, it's so rare.
I hope it comes back. So I have not been to Supernova, but Denver also like last couple of years at a ska fest, and I went this year. That's one of the shows where I went to see Five Iron was they played Denver Ska Fest, but it was cool though because like I got to know of and start listening to like some of the other just current ska bands that are out there. Like one like Denver-based band is Sorry Sweetheart. I decided I really like them. They were one of like the earlier bands at Denver Ska Fest this year. It was a pretty good lineup. I mean, the Planet Smashers,
Yep.
Less Than Jake, Goldfinger,
oh wow.
Five Iron. There was a big blast from the past there.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, like there were a few like openers that I was not as familiar with, like Sorry Sweetheart, Joyce, which is out of New Orleans, and then there's one from Washington D.C. Could it be like Potato Pirates? That might be a name I'm just totally making up right now.
If it's not, that's a great name for a band.
So Pickle and
Anyway.
Boot Shop, you can fact check
That's
that.
right.
Yeah, exactly. If you guys want to fact check, is there a ska band maybe from the Washington D.C. area called? Oh no, that's Kill Lincoln. They're from Washington D.C.
Okay.
Okay,
But I'm
yep.
pretty sure there was also one from somewhere called like Potato Pirates. Yeah. that was also at Denver Ska Fest. Yeah. So it was a pretty good afternoon and evening of ska, which one does not have very often. So, yeah.
Interesting.
And, I would probably fly. This last time I drove, I'm like, oh, I used to make this drive when I was in grad school. It's like an 8-hour drive from Omaha to Denver. But now I'm like, that was not fun.
Right.
I think next time I will fly. Also, one of the parking lots in downtown Denver is trying to, I think, collect on a parking ticket. So I'm like, I'm just never going to bring my car back to Colorado.
You're a fugitive from parking lot justice, right?
Exactly.
Just stay on the land forever.
Yep.
Just my car, my juke will never return to Denver. Yeah.
Oh, fellas, I'm fading.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Oh,
but this was fun.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks,
This has been a great time, guys. Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for inviting me.
Yeah, no
coming
problem.
on, Todd.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's kind of
pleasant surprise.
And that's kind of the vibe that we're going for with the podcast, is just kind of we're all just hanging out and just talking about, whatever. And it's, we've got maybe some topics, but if we get to them, cool. If we don't, hey, who cares, right?
It must be really fun for you to edit. Yeah.
Oh, it's a fucking
Kevin says
nightmare.
nothing but good things about it.
To make it sound like this one continuous conversation that
Kevin says we're so good it barely takes any work at all. It's amazing.
He's a true pickle soldier.
I'm seeing how the sausage is made here. Yeah, this is
when I go off on all my stupid little rants of music, it's really great for him.
He pulls it all together somehow.
He just throws me over in the left ear and forgets about me.
I'm just happy to be using my degree for something.
There you go. What's your degree in?
Television and radio production.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. So
I have a buddy who did that I don't think he's working at all in that field. But yeah, I think that's what he did, an associate's in radio or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not either. I mean, much like Joe is a roofer, I am a landscaper.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. A weird factoid about the Omaha area, probably the most popular harder rock station is actually the college station for the community college here in Council Bluffs, Iowa Western.
Yep.
So they actually have a decent radio program there, because it's actually a very popular radio station in the region.
Oh, that's cool.
But that's where my buddy did his degree. But
that's how so the community college down here that the Coug actually goes to is that's how I discovered Korn, actually, was from that radio station, because they had a demo. Somehow whoever was on DJing at the time had a demo had a demo of Korn before their first album came out, and he used to play Blind and a couple other songs off the first album, demo versions all the time. So yeah, that was cool. So when they finally came out, I was like, I already know this band, they're awesome.
One thing that sucks about that whole system, at least and last digression, and I'll just let you guys go, but it is connected to this whole college radio thing. The university where I did my bachelor's degree, the University of Nebraska at Omaha, so apparently colleges and universities, they only get one radio license. You can't generally operate 2 radio stations out of a college or whatever.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I think just because it had been that way for decades, UNO's license was used for a classical and jazz station. So there was never really student radio. It was it is the regional classical radio station. So they try, at least when I was a student there, they tried to do things to sort of get around that. They would have a web-based radio station, you just listen on your phone or computer or whatever. Though this was 2003 to 2008, so these things were a little more complicated then. But that was like actually the music that the students wanted to listen to. Like, go to this website and you can listen to the stream of the actual student radio station, because like the real radio station here, like, because maybe there's huge donors, they keep it a classical station. So yeah. But yeah. Well, yeah, guys, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for joining the PodCrash.
Everybody, bring it up, everybody.
Yeah, how's
this is
everybody?
Social media.
There you go.
Bring it down a little bit, Todd.
Perfect.
Bring it down a little bit, Todd. There we go. And over. There we go. And there it is. Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen, it's been real.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us, Todd.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
Anytime. You need to hear more about philosophy, let me know.
Cool. All right.
Okay, bye.
Onward, pick
Later,
us
bye.
Onward.
Another perfect
Did it again.
podcast.
Did it again.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was fun.
Good surprise, Kevin.
Thanks for that surprise. We'll talk to you
All
later.
right. I'll talk to you guys later.